In this video, we're going to explore an ancient bridge, a world-famous temple, and a charming tea house where you can indulge in traditional matcha sweets. Hey guys, it's Abby from Pictour and welcome back to my channel. I do photography and photo tours in Japan and you can check me out on my website here. Today we are in Uji, a place that you might know as being famous for matcha. But that's not everything. Welcome to the Uji Guide. Let's dive in. So for most people, I recommend doing Uji as a day trip from Kyoto. So to get here from Kyoto Station, you're going to take the JR Nara line from Kyoto Station, which is actually the same line you would take to get to Fushimi Inari, and you're going to take it all the way to JR Uji Station. Depending on whether or not you get the hourly rapid train or just the local train, it'll take 16 minutes or 23 minutes, so it really doesn't take too long for you to get here. So now I am at Uji Station, and it is a pretty small station. Uji is a super compact, walkable town. So the advantage of doing this as a day trip is you can come here by yourself, and you don't need to really do anything else once you get here. And make sure to check out my blog post, which will have more information about each of these places. All right, let's go. So when you leave the station, you're gonna follow the signs to go towards all the activities. So you should see when you come out, like the Uji sightseeing map, and everything is here within walking distance. So far it's like pretty quiet here, which is nice. I'm hoping it's not too crazy busy today, because one thing you'll know about Japan if you've come here before is a lot of places can be pretty crazy busy. Our first stop is Uji Bridge, which is actually one of the oldest bridges in Japan, originally built in 646. The bridge spans the Uji River and offers beautiful views of the flowing water and surrounding mountains. Uji Bridge has been featured in some Japanese historical battles, as well as in a lot of Japanese literature, including the tale of Genji, which is generally thought of to be one of the first novels ever written. And it was actually written by a court lady, which is pretty girl boss energy of her. Of course, being so old, the bridge has been destroyed and rebuilt many times, and the current bridge was rebuilt in 1996 in a traditional design. In the middle of the bridge is a place where Hideyoshi Toyotomi, a very famous samurai and warlord, is said to have drawn water for a tea ceremony. In honor of this, water is drawn from here for the annual Uji-cha Tea Festival every October. And if you've watched Shogun, the old guy that dies at the beginning of the series is based off of Hideyoshi Toyotomi. So if you haven't watched Shogun, you should watch it. I highly recommend it. It'll give a lot of context for Japanese culture and history, especially if you're planning a trip to Japan. So from Uji Bridge, we're going to first head over to Byodo-in Temple, which is famous enough that it's actually on the 10-yen coin. So let's go. To get to the temple, we have to walk down a somewhat long street where you're going to pass a lot of little shops where you can see everything matcha. So you can actually get like fresh matcha or tea leaves, or you can get snacks, or you can get little things related to matcha. They literally have everything. They have a lot of really cool stuff, but I'm gonna come back later and enjoy it after I check out the temple. So we are here at the entrance of the temple. We're gonna get our ticket. 700 yen for an adult, 400 for a school-age child, and 300 for younger. And here are their hours. So generally, if you want to check out everything, you should probably get here before about 4:10. Let's go. All right, got my tickets. Let's head in. You might already know this, but whenever you go to temples, usually they only accept cash when you try to buy a ticket. So definitely you want to have cash. And actually, the lady there spoke English, which was really cute. She was very nice. So you're gonna find more and more people will probably be able to communicate with you in English, basically, when you are doing important things like getting tickets. All right, so we've arrived at Byodo-in in Uji. This place is a UNESCO heritage site and one of the most famous places in Uji, and understandably, because I'm sure you can see the crown jewel behind me. This is the Phoenix Hall, and it's a striking example of early Japanese architecture, and it was originally built in 1053. And the name comes from the fact that the building looks like a phoenix with outstretched wings and a tail, and the pair of phoenixes adorning the roof. So the Phoenix Hall is one of the most photographed places in Japan. But did you know that it was actually originally built as a villa for a powerful politician? This is kind of a familiar story for a lot of temples in Japan, as it's also the case at Kinkakuji, which I did a full video on. Inside the hall is a magnificent statue of Amida Buddha, which has actually been here for about 1,000 years. Amida Buddha is pretty much the centermost figure of what's called Pure Land Buddhism, which is one of the most popular Buddhist sects of Japan. Amida Buddha is said to reside over a heavenly paradise, where salvation is promised for all worshippers. The design of the hall itself, resembling a phoenix, is said to symbolize Pure Land Buddhism as well, because the phoenix will fly into the heavens. If you do want to go inside the hall and see Amida Buddha, you're going to come right here to this reception, which is literally like the first thing you'll see as you get here, and you can get a ticket for 300 yen. Of course, there is no pictures or no video, nothing inside of the hall. You just get to enjoy the Buddha, so I won't be taking you in there, but it is a very unique, very cool thing to see, in my opinion. I'm just walking around the temple, and super big shout out to the lovely couple that recognized me. You guys are so awesome. So behind me is the temple's museum, which actually has some cool artifacts like the 26 praying bodhisattva statues and a temple bell. So some really unique artifacts that will kind of give you more cultural and historical information about this temple if that's the kind of thing you're into. Final note about this place, this building is the Kanando Hall, which is actually under construction until, I believe, 2028, March 31st. Hopefully they finish by then. All right, so now that we've left the temple, we're gonna walk back down this shopping street, look at a few more things, and then we're gonna get a matcha parfait and some other snacks because I'm super hungry after walking around. Let's go. I feel like I'm obliged by y'all to point out that there is a Starbucks here, but Starbucks has the same stuff they have at every other Starbucks in Japan, and that's kind of lame. So we're gonna go somewhere else. I saw a sign for matcha takoyaki, and I am super interested in that. I think I'm gonna go try it, and I'll let you guys know if it's complete rubbish or not. I'm really hoping it's good. Takoyaki. Let's see if they're good or not. They're definitely very green. Here goes. It's like actually not terrible. I'm kind of surprised. The matcha has a really soft taste. It's not like super matcha punch like I thought it would be. So it's kind of an earthier flavored takoyaki than like a normal takoyaki. So if you are walking through here and you want a cheap snack, I think this was 450 yen for 4. I guess that's really not that cheap, but unique. You get a picture, matcha takoyaki. Maybe it's fun trying. All right, looking around, most people that come here get the matcha ice cream, but obviously matcha ice cream is gonna be super delicious. That's why I tried the matcha takoyaki, but I am still hungry and I want more matcha. So we're gonna get a matcha parfait at a traditional tea house, and it's kind of hidden. You're gonna go through here, and last order is 4:30 p.m. And this place is called Nakamura Tokichi, and it's on the river. Kind of a popular spot, but they have, in my opinion, the prettiest parfaits. So I think we need to eat one. This place has been perfecting the art of tea for over 160 years, and I highly recommend trying their matcha parfait because it has everything in it. It has matcha soft serve, it has matcha chiffon cake, it has matcha bean paste, it has mochi and matcha cream and berries and chestnuts and matcha jelly, and the whole thing is just super aesthetic, and we all love a good Instagram pic, am I right? And the matcha here is really authentic because it has a delicate sweetness, but it's balanced by the earthy bitterness that matcha is supposed to have. My only note about this place is that you do need to get a seat if you're eating it in the cafe. And the place can be a little bit busy as there's no line. So you will need to be a little bit aggressive maybe in order to get a seat. But I'm so glad I was patient because it was so delicious. One thing about Uji is if you love matcha, you can stay inside Kyoto and still have a wonderful matcha experience. Don't think that just because you really want to try matcha that you have to come to Uji. Uji is more of another experience to try as well as Kyoto. The people I really do recommend going to Uji are people that have seen stuff in Kyoto already, or people that specifically want to go to somewhere that is going to be less crowded. Not to say this isn't a little bit crowded. There are people here, obviously, but it is less crowded than, say, busy Kyoto tourist spots, busy Osaka tourist spots, etc. All right, behind me is Fukujuen, and this place has been here since 1790, making tea, which is quite a long time. So you can come here and you can try a variety of different workshops where you can use their tea and you can grind it, you can make matcha, and you can enjoy matcha that you made yourself. So if that's something you're interested in, I definitely recommend making a reservation online in advance. You can go onto their website and you can contact them and just say you have so many people on this day and they will respond, and it's pretty much that easy. Or you can ask your hotel to reach out, of course. I'm not able to film the experience, but it's definitely something that's unique, and I recommend if you want to try something a little bit different. All right, so next up we're going to check out two shrines, and that is Uji Shrine and Ujigami Shrine. And the latter is actually thought to be the oldest shrine still standing in Japan today. So first, we're going to check out Uji Shrine. Here we are at Uji Shrine. You can always tell when you're at a shrine because you'll see the torii gate. So we're going to bow before we go in. Good etiquette. So Uji Shrine and Ujigami Shrine actually used to be one shrine. They weren't separated until the Meiji period. So both of the shrines are dedicated to the sons of the 15th emperor, Emperor Ojin. And this is in part because one of the sons, in order to clear up questions about who would next be succeeding the throne, committed suicide. And so this was built in his honor. Uji Shrine, which we're at first, has a funny connection with rabbits. So you're going to see a lot of rabbit pictures here. And that's because it's said that at one point, when one of the imperial princes was lost, a rabbit led him here to safety. And because the princes were good academics, this is a place where a lot of people come to pray for success on academic exams. Nowadays, I think it's worth running by both, especially since Ujigami Shrine is probably the oldest standing Shinto shrine in Japan. And the research actually supports that. They found that the shrine has been there since around 1060. Alright guys, that concludes my video on Uji. I hope this has given you some tips on what to do here and if you should even come here in the first place. My general advice is, if you have the time, it is a lovely place to come. You can see where I am right now is a super gorgeous area, and it's not super busy. So if that's something that you're interested in, just having some peace and seeing a more traditional side of Japan without all the people, this might be a lovely place for you to come. Make sure to check out my website for more information on everything here, as well as my photo shoots and my photo tours. That's it. See you in the next video.